The silent empire controlling money long after it leaves your hands. They say money stops being yours the moment you spend it. But what if that's not true? What if every single dollar, rupee, pound, or euro continues obeying an invisible empire long after it leaves your hands? An empire older than your government, richer than the richest nations, and powerful enough to shape wars, elections, and global crises without ever appearing on a ballot. This silent empire does not need soldiers. It does not need borders. It does not need the public's permission. It only needs one thing: your belief that you understand money. Because the moment you believe money is simple, you've already lost. Today, we uncover the hidden architecture behind the world's real financial power. A system that quietly controls money even after it stops being yours. A system so embedded into modern life that escaping it is almost impossible. This is the story of the silent empire. It begins where you'd least expect, not in a bank, not in a government office, but in a single idea that changed the destiny of nations. The idea that created an empire. Every empire starts with a spark. Rome had conquest. Britain had trade. And the modern financial empire, it had debt. Not the debt, not credit card bills or student loans, but a deeper idea. Money itself could be debt. Over 300 years ago, early governments realized something critical. If money is made of gold, leaders can't control it. If money must be earned, banks can't multiply it. If money is limited, empires cannot expand. Gold was honest, but honesty had a cost. It couldn't be created on command. So rulers, bankers, and economists began asking the question that would birth the silent empire. What if money didn't need to be real? The answer came in the late 1600s when England founded the Bank of England, not to store wealth, but to create it on paper, backed by nothing but promises. For the first time in history, private bankers were allowed to issue money and charge the government interest for borrowing it. It was a quiet revolution, hidden inside contracts and legal documents. No armies marched, no speeches were made. But from that moment forward, governments no longer controlled money, they borrowed it. And the lenders became the empire. The rise. How the system took over the world, the formula was simple. 1. Government needs money. 2. Bank issues money from nothing. 3. Government owes interest. Or, citizens pay that interest through taxes. This created a cycle where the wealth of nations slowly flowed upward, not to the king, not to the people, but to the lenders. As nations expanded, so did their debts. Wars required loans. Infrastructure required loans. Even economic crises caused more loans. Each crisis strengthened the empire. A system where banks were allowed to lend far more money than they actually had, multiplying the money supply with every new loan. A $100 deposit could become $1,000 in circulation. Yet the extra $900 had never existed. This gave bankers a power that no government in history had ever possessed: the ability to create money faster than people could earn it. By the 20th century, this system was global. America built the Federal Reserve in 1913. Europe adopted similar models. Colonies inherited them. New countries copied them. International Monetary Fund (IMF) standardized them. Silent empire didn't need to conquer the world. The world willingly adopted its rules because the rules seemed harmless until they weren't. The breaking point. When money stopped being real, everything changed in 1971. The United States. Drowning in war costs and rising deficits, could no longer redeem its dollars for gold. Under President Nixon, the dollar and soon every global currency quietly detached from gold entirely. Overnight, money had no anchor, no physical limit, no natural brakes. It became pure debt, and debt could be created infinitely. This was the moment the silent empire became unstoppable. From 1971 onward, Global debt skyrocketed from $1 trillion to over $300 trillion. The world's money supply grew faster than at any point in history. Banks became wealthier than entire nations. Economic crises became more frequent and more profitable for lenders. Every dollar earned became a dollar someone else owed. Every dollar spent kept the system alive. Every dollar saved lost value over time, forcing people to invest, borrow, and re-enter the cycle. Money had transformed from a tool into a trap. Most people never noticed. The fallout. How the empire controls money after you spend it. Here's the part few people understand. When you spend money, it doesn't just move, it echoes. Every payment triggers a chain reaction inside the financial system. Banks increase credit, new loans appear, more money is created, old debts grow, interest accumulates, wealth flows upward. Your money continues working long after you're done with it. Not for you, but for the silent empire. If you spend $100, the bank may lend out $900. That $900 becomes someone else's loan. They spend it, another $800 is lent out, and so on. One purchase can generate thousands in new debt obligations, tying entire communities into long-term financial dependency. Even cash withdrawals don't escape this. The moment cash returns to the bank, it becomes fuel for new loans. Your money never stops serving the system. Even after it leaves your hands, it still belongs to the empire. Failed fixes. How governments tried to stop the system and failed across history. Leaders have attempted to regain control. Andrew Jackson shut down America's central bank. Abraham Lincoln tried issuing debt-free greenbacks. Muammar Gaddafi wanted a gold-backed African currency. Multiple nations attempted full reserve systems. Crypto movements promised decentralized alternatives. Every attempt had one thing in common: they were crushed, reversed, or absorbed into the system. Central banking grew stronger after each challenge. Financial elites innovated faster than regulators. Governments became too dependent on borrowing to resist. And as global crises multiplied, minus 1,929, 1,973, 2008, 2020, the empire expanded. Because in each crisis, the same pattern emerged. 1. Panic. 2. Government bailouts. 3. More debt. 4. More money creation. 5. Financial institutions grow larger. Crises weren't threats, they were opportunities. Today, the silent empire controls currency supply, interest rates, housing markets, stock markets, government budgets, national debt, global trade, international aid, and even political stability. No king in history ever wielded that level of influence. Modern parallels. The same pattern repeating. Look at the modern world. Everywhere you look, the same pattern repeats, almost like someone pressed copy on history. 1. Nations are drowning in debt. Global debt has reached 360% of global GDP, meaning the world owes nearly 4 times more money than it produces. 2. Central banks print money to solve problems. Between 2020 and 2022, the US printed 40% of all dollars ever created. 3. Inflation quietly erases savings. Prices rise. Wages don't keep up. People are forced to borrow. 4. Banks profit from the very crisis they helped create as inflation rises. Banks raise interest rates, earning more income. 5. Governments lose control to fund rising costs. They borrow more, giving the empire even more power. This cycle is not random. It is built into the system, because the silent empire has one purpose: to ensure money keeps flowing upward. It works because the average person never learns how money truly operates. Most believe you get paid, you spend money, end of story. But in reality, you get paid, the system expands, the debts grow, your currency weakens, your purchasing power falls. And eventually, you must borrow. Money is no longer a medium of exchange. It is a mechanism of control. The invisible hand. How the empire shapes the future. Most people imagine financial power as a group of elites in a dark room. But the real empire doesn't need secrecy. It operates through interest rate policies, bond markets, global lending rules, currency exchange systems, international banking networks, technocratic institutions with no democratic accountability. The power is structural, not personal. And because no single person runs it, it cannot be voted out or removed or punished. It simply exists like gravity. If you look closely, you'll notice something chilling. Every major modern event, from wars to recessions, has a financial motive beneath it. Nations go to war when their debts become unmanageable. Economic downturns reset the system for another cycle. Central banks intervene during crises to consolidate more power. Digital currencies are emerging to tighten control even further. The silent empire doesn't just influence the world, it shapes it. The final reveal: who truly benefits? The answer is not one nation. The answer is not one nation, not one bank, not one family, not one conspiracy. Control belongs to the architecture, not the architects. The creators of the system died centuries ago, but their invention, a system where money equals debt, lives on. It survives governments. It survives wars, survives economic collapses. It survives public anger. It survives time itself. The silent empire is not a group of people. It is a global structure fueled by perpetual lending, compound interest, monetary expansion, centralized banking authority, and public ignorance. Once you understand this, you realize the most powerful empire in the world has no flag, no military, no borders. Its power lies in the fact that most people never question it. You cannot destroy the silent empire, but you can stop being a passive victim of it. Because once you understand the system, you can navigate it instead of being crushed by it. And that brings us to the final section. 3 takeaways. 1. Money is not wealth. It is a claim on future productivity. Real wealth is skills, assets, ownership, and independence. Money is a tool, not a goal. 2. Debt is the engine of the global system, and understanding it gives you power. If you learn how debt works, how credit expands, and how interest cycles function, you can position yourself in front of economic waves instead of being swallowed by them. 3. The system is not fair, but it is learnable. Those who understand financial architecture rise. Those who don't pay for those who do. The silent empire is not slowing down. New digital currencies, automated banking systems, and global regulations are creating the next phase, a world where money can be tracked, restricted, and controlled in real time. The next chapter of this empire is already being written. The question is, will you understand it before it understands you?